So you never represented Peter Obi or PDP?
I was not part of it.
Okay, so
I was not part of it.
So that will give us comfort.
I was not.
That will give us comfort.
I was not part of it.
We thought he was representing the opposition. But now that he has cleared that he was not part of it, I think we should, that will give us comfort. So that issue is hereby deleted. Please proceed.
Okay, on the issue of mentorship raised by Senator Yao, I spoke of mentorship in relation to my teacher who ensured that I was brought in to teach. And usually, as a teacher, you mentor your student. So I was just appreciating the fact that that is the normal mentoring, bringing up, developing capacity, educating, and ensuring that you fit in within the society as we're expected to function. I'm quite aware that I'm going to an institution that I must act fairly, elections must be credible, and I must be neutral. So that is at the back of my mind. And so I don't know the concept, the way the mentorship is taken, but it was situated within what happened that, oh, I had somebody who was interested in mentoring me. When you are mentoring somebody, that does not mean you can also not disagree. So mentorship is not going to compromise myself, my principle, and my standards. I believe that I have answered most of the questions that are raised here.
Thank you. So you can take your seat while others ask more questions.
Very well, sir.
And on that issue of mentorship, he has answered it well. Because all of us are mentors, one way or the other, before we came to where we are.
Maybe I should just start with the distinguished senator that spoke last. On the participation of women, persons with disability, in line with the Affirmation Act, action, which is even an international concern, I believe that the time is ripe for that. The policy, regulations, and law must be put together properly for that purpose. And that was why I said there are instances when we notice necessities like that, we will require and request for legislative intervention so that the necessary details will have to be encapsulated in the laws that is made by the National Assembly. The problem we have generally is the problem of data. And with NIMC and INEC working together, we should be able to work out something, especially for persons with disability. But whatever it is, the policy, regulation, and then the law from the National Assembly will be very, very necessary. May I now respectfully address the question raised by Senator Mangunu, the Chief Whip, the conduct of local government elections. This has been debated widely by the various state independent National Electoral Commission. And the view of most people is that that power should be transferred to INEC because of what has happened or is happening to the election into the various area councils in Abuja. Of course, there are overlap provisions that those states must use the voters' register compiled by INEC. But one of the concerns is that, is it not going to add another burden on INEC? Because if you are going to conduct election into 774 local government, apart from what we already have now, until we get there to look at the logistics and the infrastructure of doing that. So it's been long debated that there's a need for that issue to be reviewed. So we will look at it, and it's not something that I may be able to provide an answer for. Let me also talk about voters' apathy. There's a need for voters' education, and that is one of the mandates of INEC. So what I believe is that we will do something that is beyond what is being done presently, by even having what I would call modules of education for voters. We can have a basic course that can be downloaded in various languages, even on the handset. And then we'll conduct various capacity training so as to educate the voters and also to preach patriotism. Because some of the problems we have, I am very enthused with what I've seen here, that the APC members are relating very well. That is the essence of it. That what should be of overriding factor for everybody is the country itself, and then the need for patriotism. So we will even think of introducing voters' education at the primary school level, so that it will be part of the upbringing of a person, so that patriotism will be preached into that person, and the need for participation. I also have the question relating to independence raised by distinguished Senator Wadata. I want to say that it's a delicate issue, but the Constitution says INEC must be independent. So we will leverage on that constitutional flavor to ensure that we perform our responsibilities independently, and Nigeria will be proud of it. Hopefully, I have been told that there's an election coming forward very soon, and that will be a test case for us to see how best the election can be credible. If elections are credible, then it will be so easy to regain confidence of the people and get the voters back to come and vote. We also talk about whether I was part of the presidential election team. I have also read it, and it is very simple to answer, because you cannot be part of a team, a legal team. In fact, that I led the legal team. The law reports on those cases have been out. And even when I was coming, I decided to have certified true copies of the counsel that appeared. I did not appear in the presidential election tribunal and at the Supreme Court.